Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to InfoGamer. For this lesson, we are going to be concluding our Tic Tac Toe tutorial series. So there are going to be 12 videos in total for the main part of this playlist. Now we will be able to add videos to this tutorial series based on request from all of you. If there is a feature that you would like us to add to our Tic Tac Toe game, all you have to do is leave us a comment below this video or any of the videos in this playlist, and we will do our best to make that happen, to create a video showing how to create that feature. Now in our last video we showed you how to add sound effects to our tic-tac-toe game. In this video we want to show you how to build our tic-tac-toe game for Android and then upload it to the Android market. Once it's uploaded to the Android market, we will then post a link to our game in all of the descriptions of this tutorial series. Now there will be one bonus video to this tutorial series, and that will be based on us creating a Unity package of our tic-tac-toe game for all of you to download for free. We will also talk about what you should do if you decide to publish your own version of tic-tac-toe. So now that we've covered all that information, let's get started with building our tic-tac-toe game for Android. So here I have opened a browser and I've gone to the Google Play console, which is the developer's dashboard for publishing their games to the Android market. Here you can see a list of the games and projects that we are working on. Now to start with publishing our tic-tac-toe game, we need to first click on this Create Application button. This will open a window that looks like this, where we can pick a default language and give our game a title. So I'm going to call ours Tic-Tac-Toe IG, and the IG is going to stand for InfoGamer. We can then go ahead and click Create. Once you click Create, it will take you to a page that looks like this, where we can now enter in a short description. We can also enter in a full description of our game. Alright, so there I've added in a little description of our game. Now I'm going to scroll down to Graphics and Assets. This is where we need to upload images of our game. So this says add at least one phone screenshot here to help phone users see how your app will look on their device. And so to get this, I'm going to go to our project in Unity and I'm going to hit play. And then with it full screen, I'm going to open up our snipping tool and just grab what the game will look like. I can then save this image near our project folder. Now that we have this image saved, let's go back to our Google Play console. I'm then going to click on Browse Files. I'm going to go to the location where we saved that image. We can then do the same thing for the tablet image. We then need to upload a high-res icon for our game, so I'm going to click on Add High-Res Icon, and then I have an image right here that I previously created. We then need to upload a featured graphic for our game, so I'm going to click this button and then select our featured graphic. The next option down the list is for a link to a promo video on YouTube. Now this is optional, and I also haven't spent any time to create a promotional video, but I wonder if I could just add in the link to the beginning of our tic-tac-toe playlist. We then want to move down to the section on categorization, and for application type we're going to select game, and then for category we're going to select strategy. For now we're going to skip the content rating because we first have to upload our APK. For content details, the only required field is to have your email. For privacy policy, we just need to check this box because we don't have a privacy policy at the moment. The next thing I'm going to do is hit the Save Draft button. The next step is to click on App Releases from the menu on the left. Here you can see where we can upload our APKs. Now an APK stands for Android Package Kit, and that is the file that Unity will output when you build your game for Android. Now the next thing that we need to do is go over to Unity and prepare our game for building. Once you're inside of Unity, we first need to go to File, then select Build Settings. We then need to select our game scene from our project window and drag it into the Scene in Build window. The next thing that we need to do is switch our platform to build for Android. So I'm going to select the Android option from the platform window. I'm then going to select the Switch Platform button. Once you've switched platforms, we then want to click on the Player Settings button, which will then open these options in your inspector. Next, you want to enter in your company name, so I'm just going to type Info Gamer. Next, you want to give your product a name, so I'm going to call this Tic Tac Toe IG. We then want to add a default icon for our game, so I'm going to go to our file system. I'm going to select that same icon that I uploaded to the Android market. I'm going to copy that, then I'm going to go into our assets folder and go into our sprites and just paste it in there. Next, you want to change the texture type to a sprite so that the transparency will show up. And so I'm going to go back to our player settings, and then I'm going to click this select button and then select our icon. Now we want to go down to where it says settings for Android, and within resolution and presentation, we want to select which orientations we want our game to be played in. And so we want our game to be played in both landscape modes, but not both portrait modes. Now we want to go to the options for other settings, and within other settings, under identification, we need to change the package name. Now usually the package name follows a certain format where it starts with a com and then a dot, then you have your company name and then another dot, and then you have your product name, all with no spaces. And so I'm going to fill this out as a unique identifier. Once you have your package name, you then need to make sure that version and bundle version code are correct. Every time you upload a new APK for your game to the Android market, you need to make sure that these increment in some way. So with the version, you can have decimal values, but with bundle version code, it needs to be a whole number. The last thing that we need to do is scroll down to our publishing settings and set our key store. Now the key store is super important. This is the method by which the Google Play Store verifies that your APK can overwrite the previous version. Once you create your key store, it's very important that you hang on to it and put it in a very safe location. If you lose your key store and you have no way of getting it back, then you won't be able to update your game. So I'm going to select create a new key store, and I'm then going to enter in a password. You then need to confirm your password, so I'm going to type it in again. I'm then going to click the Browse Key Store to find a location to save our new key store file. We can then give our key store a name and hit save. Where it says key, we can then select alias and go down to create new key. We'll then fill in this information as much as we can. We'll then go ahead and click create key. We'll then use the drop-down menu next to alias to select this key that we've just now created, and then we'll enter in the same password. Now that we have all these options set, we can then go back to our build settings. We want to make sure that development build is unchecked. I'm then going to select build and run and find the location in which we want to save our APK. Once I pick a name for our APK, I'm then going to go ahead and hit save. Now this may take a second because Unity is now building our APK. Once it is finished building, you should now have a new APK file in the location that you chose. Now because I selected build and run, I was able to build our game straight to this Android tablet. And so if I hold it up to the camera, you'll be able to see that we have a working game. There we go. Pretty cool. Now we need to hop back over to our Google Play console. Once you're back in your Google console, we need to upload our APK. So I'm going to select Manage Product, and then going to select Create Release. Now we can upload our APK. Where it says APK to add, we can select the Browse file and then find our APK file. That'll take a second to upload. Once it's finished uploading, you can see that the release name is now populated with 1.0, which was the version number. We can then scroll down to where it says what's new in this release, and here we can add a list of features that are new to this version of our game. And since this is the first version, I could just say the game. Now we can scroll down and select save. Now we need to go and fill out a content rating for our game. So in the menu to the left, I'm going to select content rating and then going to select continue. We can then enter in our email address. We then need to select an app category, so it's a game. Now it will ask us a series of questions related to the content of our game. Here you can see that I've gone through all the questions, I've read them carefully, and I've truthfully answered them all no, because there's no reference of sexuality or violence or profanity or anything like that, because our game is just a simple tic-tac-toe game. Once you've finished answering all the questions, you can then select Save Questionnaire. You can then click Calculate Rating, and there we go, we've got an E rating for our game. Then scroll down to the bottom and click Apply Rating. Now you can see that there's a green check mark next to Content Rating. The next thing that we need to do is go to Pricing and Distribution. Here we need to go through a few more options for our game. So this application is free. There's a little warning that pops up that says setting the price to free is permanent. You cannot change it back to paid again after publishing. And that's fine, because at no point am I going to charge anyone to play a simple tic-tac-toe game. We then want to scroll down to where it says countries, and here we need to select all the countries that we want to make our game available in. And I'm just going to select available in all countries. And then I'm going to scroll down, and there's a few more questions. Primarily child-directed. Is your app primarily directed towards children under the age of 13? I would say no, there's no content that specifies that it's meant for children, so I'm just going to say no. Contains ads. Does your application have ads? At the moment, no, we do not have any ads for our game, but in the future we might add them in, so I'm just going to mark yes. I'm then going to scroll down to device categories, and I'm not going to select any of those. User programs, none of those. Content guidelines, this application meets Android content guidelines. I'm going to check that box. US export law, yes. We can then go ahead and hit Save Draft. Now you can see that there's a green check mark next to Pricing and Distribution. Now that we have these 4 green check marks in the left-hand menu, you can see that the Save Draft button has now changed to Ready to Publish, and I'm going to select that, and then we can go to Manage Releases. You can go to Edit Releases. I'm then going to scroll down to the bottom and click Review. So here everything looks good, and I'm going to select Start Rollout to Production. And then here it says your app will now become available to all users of the Play Store. Do you want to continue? Confirm. And there we go, we now have our tic-tac-toe game built for Android and uploaded to the Google Play Store. It might take a while for it to actually show up in the Google Play Store because they have to review it first, but once it's available, we'll make sure that we put a link to it in the description below this video and in all the videos of this tutorial series. Now that we've finished creating this game, I would hope that all of you show your support by downloading it, play it a few times, show it to your friends and family. Also show them that if they're interested, they can build their very own version of tic-tac-toe by following along with this tutorial series. It's been a lot of fun creating this game and putting out these videos on how to create tic-tac-toe. Thank you so much for following along. If you have any further questions, make sure that you leave them in the comments below. Also, let us know if you have any suggestions for what game we should make next. Make sure that you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you can get regular updates when we publish new videos. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.